In October 13, 2011, a group of police were called to an episode where a food merchant in Oklahoma City had found various strange dark packs. The sacks had grabbed the eye of the group as they smelled unequivocally and disagreeably. In spite of their upsetting scent, the officials had no real option except to open each pack, as it was important to decide the reason for the smell. When every one of the sacks had been opened, the police stood up with a frightful scene that contrasted from anything they had recently seen. While examiners are as yet dealing with sorting out the specific subtleties of what happened, 2 men have previously been captured regarding the wrongdoing as a feature of their examination. Carina Saunders, brought into the world on July 17, 1992, has been consulted and her folks have given data about her name. Carina was a valued individual from her family. She was one of 9 kids in the family. She tried to stick out and establish a connection. Her dad portrayed her as a very friendly young woman who could undoubtedly mix in with any gathering. Carina went to Colt School in Oklahoma, a little school situated in a humble community. By her folks exceeded everyone's expectations to guarantee that she had a blissful and satisfying youth and teen years. As a teen, Carina appeared to be more than content, in sharp difference to numerous other youthful people who are generally highlighted in reports. While going to class, Carina earned respect for her abilities to sing. As per reports, Carina could frequently be seen meandering around the school grounds singing different tunes. In the long run, she was given a situation in the secondary school ensemble group. Anyway, Carina was not simply a remarkable vocalist, she was additionally profoundly savvy. Throughout the long term, Carina reliably succeeded in school science competitions and won the spelling bee multiple times in succession at her school. Furthermore, she likewise prevailed in the statewide bookkeeping rivalry. While this might appear as though an uncommon leisure activity, it exhibits well what kind of individual Carina is. Notwithstanding her bookkeeping ability, Carina likewise partook in this movement. Her essential objective in life was to seek after a profession as a drama vocalist, and in the event that this way had not been effective, she would probably have sought after a vocation in bookkeeping with a splendid future in front of her. In spite of her exceptional accomplishments, Carina's life took an unexpected and huge tragic development. After secondary school, she became associated with criminal operations, including the transportation of unlawful substances. As per Carina's mom, their lives have taken a negative turn, coming about in her becoming dependent on psychoactive substances. In spite of the fact that it might come as a shock, what is happening turned out to be serious, to the point that she chose to spend her late spring getaway at a restoration community. This was a big deal, had been developing for a significant stretch of time, and it appears to be that her visit at the recovery place worked out positively, and her mom reviewed that Carina had left the program something else entirely. Carina was glad to begin her life from the very start. It looks like things are starting to get to the next level for her anyway. It ought to be noticed that for most people, habit is a lifetime battle. This issue can't be settled essentially by putting in half a month at recovery relying upon their enslavement. This conduct can surely be changed, yet months or even a long time after somebody genuinely wants the following fix might emerge out of the blue anyway. To the extent that her family could decide, Carina had the option to adapt to her compulsion and carry on with a typical existence. She and her family continued going to chapel gatherings, and from time to time the young lady would try and distribute posts about her strict convictions and practices via virtual entertainment. Web-based entertainment was the essential means through which her loved ones were in touch with her, as she didn't have a wireless or own vehicle at the time. In any case, Carina guaranteed that she generally distributed new presents or sent messages on her family through the interweb. The last time that Carina saw her mom was on September 18, 2011, when they went to chapel together. 10 days after the fact, on September 28, Carina posted on Friendly Media asking her companions and devotees what they had made arrangements for the night. Apparently the person being referred to was trying to draw in with somebody for a night out anyway, rather unconventionally. Following this posting, they stopped showing up via virtual entertainment. Moreover, it has become known that their mom has additionally been not able to connect with them. This has left Carina's family in complete obliviousness regarding where she might be or what is happening to her. It won't be well before the group of Carina becomes mindful that she has disappeared. It has been discovered that on 28 September, the day preceding her last virtual entertainment posting, Carina visited a nearby taco ringer foundation with a nearby partner, Catherine. The two participated in some time spent together before Catherine left after getting a call. As opposed to following her, Carina stayed at the cafe to meet a companion of hers, Kenny. As per a few sources, Kenny was a critical person in the plot. While it isn't yet completely clear, assuming the story was about prostitution or basically about shooting, it is clear that Kenny assumed a huge part in Karen's life. The criminal investigators had the option to assemble a few bits of proof that propose Kenny's contribution in Karen's story. As per Kenny, they spent a few hours together this evening, and later he dropped Carina off close to a high-rise beyond Oklahoma City. Roughly 7 days after the fact, a more established companion of Carina's saw her hanging out close to the apartment building, and they had a short discussion during this trade. Carina referenced that she had as of late moved in with a jack of all trades at the high-rise and assisted him with family tasks in her leisure time. A companion named Keegan, who was in the space, met with Carina soon thereafter. They halted to additional visit, and Keegan immediately found that she had not eaten in a few days. Keegan didn't demand figuring out the justification for this, yet he proposed to take Carina out to eat and didn't request that she stroll around. Throughout their discussion, he discovered that Carina is basically destitute and has very little pay. This episode occurred on October 8, 2011. After they bid farewell, Keegan reports that he has not seen or heard from Carina since that time, essentially until she was accounted for on the neighborhood news. With a concerned articulation, police dreaded the most terrible, and they figured out how to find CCTV film that shows Carina entering a red pickup truck close to a close-by gambling club. The recording likewise uncovers that the people situated in the nearby vehicle endeavored to deter Carina from making any move anyway. Ever the person being referred to didn't regard their admonitions and continued with their arrangement. Following this, none of the people present saw Carina's whereabouts. As per freely accessible data, 2 vehicles were left at the club at the time being referred to. One was a red pickup truck with slide plates and top-mount headlights. The other vehicle was depicted as a dull-hued car. In the recording, an enormous person with tattoos on their arms left the pickup truck. They requested Carina into the vehicle and she consented. The people in the contiguous vehicle gave admonitions to Carina, who disregarded them and went on with their arrangements. Neither the man nor any of the travelers in the close-by vehicle were at any point scrutinized. The next day, Catherine, Carina's sister, spoke with one of her companions, Kyle Savage, who was known to be cordial with Carina anyway. During a discussion with Catherine, something unforeseen occurred and Kyle sent a secretive message that has stayed unexplained for such an extremely long time. He composed that he would cover Catherine close to Carina. When the police later addressed Kyle about the message, they found that he had sent it in blunder, accepting that he was addressing one of his male companions. He had erroneously sent the message to Catherine by accident. In any case, the inquiry remains, how could Kyle have sent such a compromising instant message to his companion? Moreover, at the time he sent this message, there had been no sightings or correspondences from Carina in north of 24 hours. This firmly proposes that something had happened to Carina and Kyle knew about it. At last, the police couldn't give any proof to help any charges against Kyle anyway. For Carina's mom, this was adequate. She trusted it to be profoundly surprising that Carina had been absent for a particularly expanded time frame. Subsequent to learning of Kyle's message, Carina's mom recorded a report with the specialists, prompting an authority search of the area. The report was documented on October 10, 2011. Quickly, Carina's mom made a move and started dispersing missing individual banners all through the city. Also, she reached all individuals from her family and nearest partners who illuminated her that nobody had heard from Carina in around multi-month. By and by, they cooperated to advance consciousness of Carina's vanishing through online entertainment and the dispersion of many flyers in the encompassing region. Normally, with regards to missing people cases, families can't get deals with serious consequences regarding a lengthy period anyway. In this occurrence, examinations had the option to push ahead more rapidly. Tragically, The group of Saunders needed to encounter sorrow only a couple of days after on 13 October 2011 a gathering of creature salvage volunteers were endeavoring to trap a few wild felines around a nearby store referred to as the country basic food item. As they were laying out snares for the felines, they saw a serious scent filling the region. Subsequent to researching the wellspring of the fragrance, they found 2 dark gym bags of various sizes. As they moved toward the sacks, the smell developed more extreme. Right now they chose to forego their original objective and contact the police. When the police arrived at the scene, they immediately understood that something was amiss. One of the officials later expressed that they could smell decay, and they quickly realized that they had gone over a terrible wrongdoing. When the officials opened the gym bags, they found that each pack contained more modest plastic sacks containing the body portions of a young lady. The shortfall of actual proof at the site proposed that the genuine homicide had not happened there, but instead it was an endeavor to hide the body. Among other trash examiners established that the remaining parts were in the sacks for roughly 3 or 4 days, and at the hour of disclosure they didn't have the foggiest idea who they could have a place with. By then, 4 days after the fact, on Monday, October 17, Carina's folks got a call from the police requesting that they come to the police headquarters quickly. When they showed up at the station, it turned out to be unmistakably clear that this was not a message of uplifting news in regards to the quest for Carina, and that scarcely anybody might have arranged for this present circumstance. Soon Carina's folks would confront the horrible misery of losing their own youngster in a manner that can scarcely be envisioned by the latest area of chaos. She was at the very gambling club in Newcastle around then. This implied that Carina had been most recently seen alive the night prior to the disclosure of the gym bags on October 8, 5 days earlier. Subsequent to affirming these subtleties, the police turned their concentration to a close-by home situated at 3500 South Harvey Road, which is better referred to local people as a social event spot. Destitute people were currently dwelling nearby, and large numbers of them were participated in the deal and utilization of unlawful substances. Throughout the long term, police got various reports, including reports of ladies took part in prostitution in return for cash, a self-destruction by a man inside the house, and an episode in which they endeavored to set the house ablaze. Given its closeness to the location of the crime, this area was an exceptionally suspect region and one of the main areas police looked for proof regardless of the police's failure to find any proof on account of Carina. This perception prompted the police requesting the destruction of the house, which assisted with quieting the occupants of the region. Around a similar time, a post-mortem examination report enumerating the discoveries of Carina's demise was made accessible. While not all people will be ready for the definite idea of the report, the individuals who pick can search out this data freely. It is unimaginable to expect to say with conviction what befell Carina, as the conditions encompassing her passing are hazy. Anyway, it is probable that she was limited and given solid analgesics. Subsequently, her body was exposed to broad mutilation, making it challenging to distinguish by her remaining parts. As per the coroner, it is difficult to decide whether Carina was as yet alive when her effects were moved. Anyway, one observer professes to have seen film of the episode. This witness, who is a young lady named Tia, affirmed that Carina was as a matter of fact still alive around then, and she guarantees that she found the video while exploring the wireless of a companion, Luis Ruiz. The individual left their telephone on while they were in the restroom or visiting Tia, and Tia chose to survey their photographs and recordings. Eventually, Tia ran over a recording of Carina's torment. Later, a subsequent observer was recognized who saw the episode with their own eyes. They said that when they understood what was happening, they were sickened and needed to bounce from the window to save their life from the get-go. Apparently, Lass' contribution in the wrongdoing was an accident, given why was he known? What's more, the other suspect, Carina Kyla, and the red pickup truck. Anyway, further examination uncovered that this was not the case. Specialists investigated Lisha's past and found that he had a background marked by contribution in different crimes, including illegal exploitation and conceivably even homicide. The most amazing part of his memoir was that he had filled in as a primary teacher for a huge time frame. There have been tales that he passed on that situation in the wake of starting to participate in criminal operations and presently not required the cash. On July 22, 2012, police had the option to assemble sufficient proof to accuse Liss of Carina's homicide anyway. It before long became obvious that he was not the sole culprit. Two prisoners at one point approached and offered expressions guaranteeing that they heard another detainee, Jimmy Massey, admit to the wrongdoing. Jimmy and Louise were both claimed to be engaged with an illegal exploitation activity. It currently creates the impression that the examination concerning their exercises is starting to finish up, yet there still stays one last inquiry that should be responded to: the inspiration driving this wrongdoing. Carina had no association with these two people, and it is conceivable that she basically turned out to be accidentally involved at a sad time. Being a survivor of illegal exploitation can be perhaps of the most horrible experience an individual can go through. Numerous youngsters are compelled to live in such circumstances consistently, and a large number of them attempt to escape from it eventually. It is conceivable that what befell Carina was a method for making an impression on different casualties of Louis and Jimmy. What will occur, assuming they likewise endeavor to escape anyway? The person being referred to was not a survivor of illegal exploitation, but rather simply turned out to be in the gambling club at an unfavorable time. Out of nowhere, the examination went off in a strange direction. In 2013, all charges against Louis and Jimmy were excused because of an absence of proof, in spite of the police having various valid observer proclamations in regards to Louis and Jimmy. No proof was found that would connect them to the episode, nor was there any certifying proof for the observer's cases. Declaration can assume a huge part in an investigation anyway. In this example, it didn't have a tremendous effect and the police couldn't get convictions for the denounced. Moreover, the video that Tia claimed she found on Louis' telephone was rarely found, and it is within the realm of possibilities that she created the whole episode, or that Louise erased the video eventually before the police got an opportunity to completely explore the matter. The two men were cleared of the charges. Furthermore, Louis was granted a $50,000 remuneration installment after his lawyer found something like 10 occasions of social equality infringement perpetrated against him during his detainment. From that point forward, the examination concerning Carina's vanishing has slowed down. Government specialists and different state organizations have been engaged with the situation, and they are as yet looking for new proof anyway. Any reasonable person would agree that there is right now next to no proof accessible. Anyone who carried out this wrongdoing has worked really hard of covering their follows. Also, the police presently have not very many leads, albeit many individuals actually accept Louis Jimmy might have been involved. It doesn't make any difference on the off chance that the police can't demonstrate it. After all, it is conceivable and possible that Carina entirely misunderstood, didn't do anything before her vanishing. She had no known association with any of the suspect people, as her loved ones have expressed. The exploration group has needed to acknowledge this. The examination concerning the people liable for Carina's demise go on, however the cycle isn't going great. The police are as of now offering a prize of $10,000 for data and have likewise offered another $50,000 for mysterious tributes.